What's up, ravers? Hope everyone had a great weekend. This is Gemfire, and today I'm gonna show you how I'm gonna make a new track on an MPC 2000XL. Today I'm gonna start by loading up a drum kit that I already have on my MPC 2000XL, and this is gonna be a basic 808. We'll be starting with an 808 because I love 808s, and let's see what kind of 808 we have over here, because I haven't loaded this kit in a while and I don't really remember what's in it. Let's check it out. So that's a bass, that's a shorter bass drum, that's a shorter bass drum. I like this one. I like this kick. Let's start with this kick. It's an overdrive 808 bass drum. Yeah, that's cool. Let's go to the new track. Let's lay a clap. Track number 3 is gonna be our hi-hat. And I will be using note repeat. Track 4 is gonna be our open hat. As you can see, this drum kit is already pre-programmed, so the open hat and hi-hat cut each other out. That's pretty cool. As you can see, it cuts it in the places that I don't really want, so what I'm gonna do now, I'm gonna go to the closed hi-hat track, I will open the step sequencer, and I will find the place where they overlap, and I will delete the closed hi-hat. What I need to do first, I just need to go into the open hat step sequence, and I will need to check where the open hi-hat is in our sequence. And you can press this locate go to button, and there's a line that says events over here. You just press this and press, and it will bring you to the next event on this track. So our open hat is on 2.48, basically on a beat of the track. Let's go to the third track with our closed hi-hats, and we will clean it up. Delete, 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 and we're done. Let's see how that sounds. Yeah, that sounds pretty cool. I will probably change the samples later, but as of now I will keep them as is, just because I don't want to lose any more time on it. Let's layer something else. Let's layer some more percussion. First of all, you know what? First of all, I will duplicate this pattern to make it a 4-bar loop. Actually, you know what? Let's make it an 8-bar loop. Now we can add some variation to it. I will go into timing and I will do the trap hi-hat trick. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna go to timing and set it to 1/16 of triplet, and we will record it over. You just press overdub and play start. I like it. Yeah, I like it. Let's tidy the clap a little bit, because it's too long for my taste. I really like my claps short. We'll go into parameters, decay mode start, and we will just tweak it. And I will tune it down a little bit. I'll probably do the same with my hats. I will tune them a little bit down. And I will remove some decay, so they are really short. As you can see, the beat is tidier, it's cleaner, and it has more room to breathe, so we can add some more elements to it. Okay, so let's add some more elements to it. I've produced a few Get a House EPs, and The way they did it in the early 90s when they produced Ghetto House is that they were using basic drum machines like 808, 909. They were using some basic samples and they didn't have access to any melodic instruments. So they used the 808 and 909 toms for melodic parts. As you can see, we have 3 toms: low, mid, and high. High. No, this is a low, mid, high. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to add a new track and I will try and improvise a pattern with only these toms. Let's see what we can do with these toms. Yeah, I like this pattern. Let's do it. Let's record it. Let's make something with an 808 snare. Let's go to track 6. These snares are too long for my taste as well. Let's shorten them up a little bit. And I will tune them up. Yeah, that's a nice trap snare. I know a trap snare when I hear it. And I'll probably use the snare at the end of the 4th bar as a transition effect. Let's record. There's something wrong with our tom. Let's re-record it. I will not re-record it entirely. I will just record the second half of it. So I will just go to bar number 5. Press rec and press play. That will override it. What I'm probably gonna do now is I'm gonna find a sample. I'm trying to get a ghetto house vibe out of this, maybe a ghetto techie something. I will need a sample, probably a percussive sample or just a whoop or a swish or a whop. Nothing too melodic, just a basic whop. And I think I have it because as you remember, I use Vengeance samples a lot. Let's see what's in the plug folder. Let's load this one. Yeah, that's kind of okay. Nope. This sounds useful. Why not? No. This gives me Martin Garrix vibes. Ooh, that's okay. No, too generic. Nope. Probably not. Okay, I think I had enough of them. Let's set this to 16 levels and see if we can get a melody out of it. And as always, I like to set my original key up to 8, because that gives us more flexibility. Ooh, that's cool. This melody, let's record it. and I messed it up, but I will just duplicate the first 4 bars of this loop to the second 4 bars of this loop. That sounds kind of okay, but also kind of generic in a way. I think we need to spice it up a little bit by replacing some of the samples that we already have. And I will start with drum samples. And I will go into my library as well. Let's see what kind of drum samples we'll need to replace. I really don't like the hats and the snare because they are really generic. Let's see if we can get a replacement for them. And I will go into Vengeance samples as well because I love Vengeance samples. Closed hats. Let's see what's in this folder. I can probably use this as an open hat. Let's try. Yeah, that already sounds a bit more interesting. Let's replace the second sample. I mean the second hat, the one that is closed. Let's try this one. Yeah, that's okay. That's okay, that starts to sound really cool. Probably to my taste, maybe to yours, it's not really cool, but who am I to judge? The only thing that I want to do is now I'm gonna make them a little bit quieter because the hats are too loud. And there's something's wrong with our closed hi-hat. Let's go to the start and let's see what note is it. Why is it tuned all the way down? You know what? I don't want to deal with this right now. I'm just gonna re-record it. Oh, you know, I'm a doofus because I recorded the closed hi-hat triplets on the open hi-hat track. That's why you always have to name your tracks. Yeah, and I broke my first rule. I will just erase it. Yeah, it's still kinda loud. And I really think I should pitch it up now. And this one is too quiet. I hate mixing. Okay, now let's replace the clap. We'll go into the clap folder. Let's go somewhere in the middle of the folder. Nope. No, definitely not. Not this one. No. Let's try this one. Where is our clap? Yep, here it is. Keep it. And I really like my claps in stereo, and you can hear if you're listening this in your headphones, and you should probably listen to this in your headphones. This clap is really wide, and it has a lot of body in it. So let's listen. Yeah, it's too loud as well, and I want to shorten it up a little bit more. Yep, something like that. You know what, I really don't like this percussion synth sample anymore. Let's see if we can get another one. There's a folder called percussion over here, and I will look there, because let's use some real percussion. So it has some mixed, real, rim shots, synth percussion, toms. We'll probably go to the toms later, because I will replace these generic 808 toms, but as of now, let's just go into the synth percussion folder, and let's see what's there. Ooh, yeah, that's... Actually, yeah, that's the kind of sound that I was going for. Let's replace this one and see how that sounds. Yeah, this is close to something that I'm looking for, but not exactly, so let's keep looking for another sample. Nope. And I will just try out different samples. No. Yeah, I like this one because it's in stereo as well. I really like stereo samples. That's why I hate working on my OPZ if you're American, OPZ if you're British. I'm neither, whatever. Because OPZ only works with mono samples. And like, come on, dude, it's 2023 and you have a groove box that is $500 and it only uses mono samples. That's ridiculous. I have this machine back from 1999. And it loads and stores and reads and writes stereo samples. Probably was a big feature back in the day. Anyway, yeah, I digress. Let's see if we can replace some more samples. At this point, I think I should get another kick because this one doesn't punch in the mix as much as I wanted to. Or, you know what? I can do another trick. As you can see, I have an 8 output board over here on my MPC, and I will just route the kick. No, this one. I think we're using this one, yeah. I will just route the kick to an unused output on my MPC. And as you can see here, I have a crappy Soviet mixer, which was built, I guess, in the late 80s, early 90s. It's really poopy, but I kind of like the sound of it. Plus, I got it for $60, so can't argue with that. And I will assign it to track number 1. Ooh, no, that's too much. Now I can edit, I can EQ, I can pan it. And now, as you can probably hear, or maybe you cannot hear because you're tone deaf, I don't judge you, but our sample is out of key with our kick and our toms, so probably have to find the correct pitch for it. Let's set it to mono. -1 semitone, -2 semitones. That sounds kind of close. -3 semitones. Yeah, I think it's in tune now, but I want to change this percussive sample because it's boring, generic, and if you heard this on the dance floor, you probably won't be too excited unless you were on some kind of drugs. Yeah, the melody sucks. Let's erase it. Let's go to 16 levels again. And I want to keep it really simple because it's ghetto, techie, house, something. If you want to stick to this genre, you would probably want to keep it something simple. Let's jam a little bit so we can find a melody for it. Ooh, I really like it down here. As you can see, this pad is not working. I'm still waiting for a new pad sensor. It should come any week now. Because, yeah, I don't live in the US. I live in Eastern Europe. And you can't just go and buy something like that. You have to order it from the US and use a mail forwarding service. And that tends to be really long. Not really expensive, but really long. You know what I'm going to do right now? I will just record a few hits. And because I really like this note over here. And once I have this, I will add to the melody. Some variation over here. try make it even higher pitched. So let's go out of 16 levels, go into 16 levels again, and let's set the tuning, the original keypad, to 4. It's the lowest that it allows us to go. I really like this note, it works good with this one, and this kind of makes this like a call and response technique that you can hear in many pieces of music. I know that Skrillex likes to do it when you have something like, which goes ta-ta-ta, and then there's a response, do-do-do-do-do, something like that. This is probably oversimplified, and it's really a basic version of that, because I'm using a simple percussion sample, but you got the idea. Let's overdub this. Let's add some swing to it. Let's find the track that contains our closed hi-hats. Actually, you know what I'm gonna do right now? I will name all my tracks. I will probably cut this out in the video because it's a tedious process, but it will make my life easier. Okay, I named all my tracks. It took me about 40 seconds, maybe to a minute. This synth sample, the percussion sample, sounds kinda okay, but it lacks something. I will probably have to add some reverb or delay and some other effects to it. And I don't have an effects card in my MPC, but I have an iPad and I can use it as an external effects unit. Actually, that's why I bought it for in the first place, so I can use it as an effects unit. And it is connected. Enter passcode. No. Okay, I don't want to show you my passcode. There's this app that I really like. It's called AUM, and if you're on iOS, you should totally buy it with all the features that it has. Basically, it's just like a mixer which you can use to mix all your stuff, and you can add audio effects such as reverbs, delays. And this particular mixer that I have, it has 2 sends and 2 return channels. Actually, it has 3 sends if you count this monitor output as well. So I can have 2 or 3 effects buses running out of my mixer to external effects and then running back into the mixer. What I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna go to mixer section. I'm gonna find this sample, here it is. I will take it off the main bus and I will send it to individual outputs 3 and 4. Now I have it in the mixer. Now I have it in my mixer and I can add some EQ. I'll probably cut out the lows. It took me about 5 minutes to figure out what was going on wrong, and it turned out that the audio routing was set incorrectly on the mixer itself. Now it's fully functional. As you can see, now we have some reverb on this percussive sample. And I will edit it to a really short reverb. Set the mix all the way to 100%. You know what? I'll probably add some reverb to the hi-hat samples as well. These 2. So let's set them to the same bus that our percussive sample is going to. I will mute them in the stereo chain on the MPC itself. Let's go to individual output and set it to 3/4. And what to hell with it, I will add it to the clap as well. The only thing that I need to make these samples less loud. You know know what? No, there's too much reverb on the heads. I will just route them to another pair of stereo outputs. So like 5-6. This will go to 5-6 as well. And I'll keep the clap. Okay, now I need to adjust the channels 5 and 6 on my mixer. Okay, yeah, finally did it. This mixture is really poopy. It's really laggy, so the outputs don't work all the time. The faders are crap because it's Soviet. It was made in the 80s, but whatever. I'll just keep it for now. Let's try and make a second drop. What I'm gonna do is I'm going to go to sequence, open window, and I will copy the entire sequence to track number 2. Now we have the same sequence running on track number 2. Let's mute the percussion sample. And let's mute the closed head as well. Okay, let's change the tom pattern. Let's change it to a different one so we can have some variation in our track. Let's just erase it for now. On this pattern, I want to keep it more monophonic. I will probably use less variation. That will bring more tension to the track. Let's jam a little bit to see what we can come up to. Yeah, I like it. Let's record it. Actually, you know what? I'll go to the first sequence and let's make some variation with our kick drum. Let's go to step and I will delete the last kick drum there is. And also I'll make that the same adjustment to the second sequence. Also, let's make some variation to our percussive sample. Let's go to 16 levels. Yeah, I kind of like that. Let's record it. Alright, so now let's copy this entire sequence to another sequence. Now we have sequence number 3, and let's add some more variation to it. Let's turn out the hi-hat, the open hi-hat, and the clap. You know what? No, I'll keep the closed hi-hat. And let's add some variation to the snare track. Yep, track number 6. Let's make kind of a snare roll. Actually, I will assign the pitch of the snare to the note variation slider. So now we can have a trap snare roll, probably. I don't know. Let's see. Yeah, let's record. Like I will record this straight away. think this percussion track is too crowded. Let's make fewer hits on it. Let's go to 16 levels again. Erase the pattern that we have now. Let's go into the song mode now and see what we came up to. We have 3 sequences. We can put them side by side. And this kind of makes like an entire drop. Let's listen to it from start to end. I like it. Gonna be some kind of a build-up. I need to add something to it, like a riser of some sorts, maybe a siren that goes like woo 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 woo. But it's kind of difficult to make this on an MPC. I need to think how can I make this, because this machine has a lot of limitations. It's a really old machine, and you know what? Yeah, I know what I can do. It won't be a percussive sound. It's gonna be an 808 ride. Ride it, yep. Let's go to our mixer and set it to separate output. But I will assign it to note variation slider. Now let's set it to tuning, and we'll set the low range to 0, because we want it to go from this original pitch all the way up to 12 semitones, so an octave up. So something like that. Let's record it to a separate track. Yeah, that's kind of the idea. I'll just gonna make it a little bit more louder. You know what? I kind of like the idea behind this ride going up in pitch, but I don't like the sample because it's a generic 808 and it's in mono. Let's find a better sample for it. Here is a ride folder. Too loud. Kinda, but not. Actually, you know what? I need a long sample, because when you pitch it up, it goes shorter the higher you pitch it. Let's replace it, and now we have to change it in the mixture section. So I will switch it to 5 and 6 with other percussion that we have. You know what? I think to record it again. Let's try and do that again. And as you can see, it starts getting really short by the end of the pattern. So let's just tune it down and try again. that's better. This 808 snare sounds generic as hell. Let's just spice it up a little bit. Yeah, that's better. That's definitely better. So now let's listen to the entire track. I mean, like the entire drop that we did out of 3 sequences. I think that's all for today. I will definitely be finishing this track, and I think I need to add some vocal chops to it, some samples, maybe some new patterns, and I guess if I finish it, I'll probably release it as well. Thanks for watching this video. I really hope you found it informative and entertaining, and you learned something new today. So make sure to hit the like and subscribe button, and see you next time. Thank you guys. Cheers.